Hi everyone, my name is Darby and I am doing my graduate presentation. Okay, so my mock client, her name is Hallie. She's 7 years old. She lives in Portales, New Mexico. She attends elementary school at James Elementary. She's in second grade. Um, Hallie's teacher reports that she's having difficulty with her expressive and receptive language skills, so she's referred her for speech services. Um, with her expressive, she's having difficulty responding to questions in class and struggling to organize sequences of stories. And with receptive language, she has difficulty identifying details and difficulty following multiple step directions. A deeper case history. Hallie is a seven-year-old girl from Portales who lives with her mom and dad and younger identical twin sisters. She enjoys school, but she's very quiet when she's at school. She has no previous medical history. She's passed a vision and hearing test, so those are not factors in her speech development. She met all of her developmental milestones at appropriate ages, and she's consistently presented with a shy demeanor, according to her parents. Her parents also report that they are concerned about her ability to explain and organize her thoughts, to get her needs met and follow directions. So, for long-term goal for her receptive language, by December 2025, Hallie will increase receptive language skills to follow age-appropriate verbal conversation and directions while comprehending key details with 80% accuracy in the school and home setting. And for her short-term objectives, Hallie will follow multi-step directions with 80% accuracy across 3 consecutive sessions in a therapy setting. She will also identify main ideas and 2 key details from a short story with 80% accuracy across 3 consecutive sessions in the therapy setting, as well as she will answer WH questions correctly about a short story with 80% accuracy across 3 consecutive sessions in a therapy setting. And then for her second long-term goal, Hallie will improve her expressive language skills to use age-appropriate vocabulary and organize her thoughts to participate in conversation across school and home settings. For her short-term objectives, Hallie will retell a familiar story using appropriate sequencing with visual supports with 80% accuracy in therapeutic setting. And she will also use compound and complex sentences using conjunctions with 80% accuracy in the therapeutic setting. And Hallie will correctly use past tense verbs in conversation with 80% accuracy in the therapy setting across 3 consecutive sessions. And then for a behavior chart, Hallie will be using a star chart. If Hallie receives enough stars during her session, she will be rewarded at the end of her session. So for activity one, um, we're targeting long-term goal 1 and 2 and multiple different short-term objectives. The materials we need is a short story and a visual for the story. The client and the clinician will read a story together and or watch a video of somebody else reading it out loud. And after the story is read, the client will be asked to arrange pictures of the story in chronological order. And after she does this, she will receive a star for correctly arranging the story. After she put these events in order, she must describe the story using conjunction words. Doing this accurately will earn her another star, and afterwards, Callie will answer WH questions about the story. Each time she answers a question correctly, she will receive a star on her behavior chart. And this activity should take 15 minutes, depending on what kind of story and how old the client is, if we're using this on different ages. Um, so for this particular activity, we're gonna watch the video.
Welcome to Teacher Reads. I'm Miss S. Today, we are going to read on. If you give a mouse a cookie, he's going to ask for a glass of milk.
Just for the circumstances of the presentation, we're not going to watch the whole thing, but what normally we would do is watch the whole video and then we go through this activity. And this is the set of icons that I would use for the story. I've also created a sequencing chart here. So for my special helper, Hallie,
Hello.
um, I would ask Hallie, so the mouse, the cookie, the milk and the straw and the broom, which one comes first?
I'm going to guess the mouse.
Okay. And then I put the mouse over here. And then what else comes next?
I'm gonna guess cookie.
Okay, and another one.
Then milk.
Perfect. So the idea is that Hallie would have access to this normally and be able to drag and drop these icons into the sequences herself without me um, doing it for her. But for the purposes of this presentation, I'm doing it. But Hallie, you earned a star towards your reward. Congrats!
Yay.
Yay! Um, And I'd also ask Hallie, why did the mouse ask for a cookie and why did he need milk? For those WH questions. And she'd also describe the events of the story using conjunction words, such as like, he asked for a glass of milk because he had a cookie. And then for the next activity, um, we're going to be using an online dice on Google, picture cards, picture story cards, and if we need it, the past tense verb modeling chart. We're going to be targeting long-term goal two. Hallie will roll a dice to determine how many picture cards she will use. Using these picture cards, she'll create a short story, and then she'll have to state what happened in the story in past tense. Each time she uses past tense it correctly, she'll receive a star towards her reward. This activity will be repeated for several rounds. If it becomes too easy, we can also ask her to do the same, but the clinician will describe the sentence in the wrong tense, and Hallie is encouraged to correct the mistake. So, for example, we have an online dice roll here, and so Hallie will have to pick out three cards, and I'm going to choose a new deck of cards. And so, Hallie, you're going to pick three icons from here and make a really short story from here.
Okay, I'm gonna pick the clown, the skateboard, and the umbrella.
Good job. What's your short story?
The clown went for a skateboard ride in the park while holding his umbrella.
Now, can you put that in past tense?
It rained, so the clown needed his umbrella and he couldn't use his skateboard anymore.
Good job. So Hallie would have earned another star towards her reward, and this would go on for several rounds so that she could get the idea of using past tense verbs. And then as she got really good at this, I would start doing them, but in different tenses so that she could correct them into the correct tense. And because Hallie got her reward is a funny dog video. So we'll just take a second to see what that is.
Gonna go for a, gonna go for a, gonna go for
Hallie really loves puppies, so we're going to watch that for a minute, and then she would be all done with her session. These are my resources, and that's the end. Thank you.